Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, folks, we're looking at uh, exercise 29, looking at the probability scale. Show the probability of the following events. Okay, let's have a look at the sheet that you've got there originally. Just quickly look at your sheet. Is there part one to it? Yeah, let's look at that one first. Okay, before we do this part two, I've uploaded the wrong page numbers. Give me one moment, folks. I'll quickly get the part one. Okay, apologies for that, folks. We just had part two being loaded up first rather than part one. Here we go. Because each box contains, so we're looking at the probability scale. Okay, part one. So each box contains black and white counters. A girl is blindfolded and chooses one disc from each box. Using an arrow indicate the probability of choosing a black disc and a white disc. So what we need to do now is we need to look at these. Okay, now, so black ones, how many black ones do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We should choose a slightly lighter color next time. How many white ones do we have? 1 and 2. So if we're going to do our probability, we have to do the probability of the black. What's the probability of the first black? Okay, let's actually just do it here. Okay, better to do it here. Maybe we go push to down. Okay. So for question number 1, you said the probability of a black is equal to how many black ones do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we had 6 of them, and it was out of how many? How many were there in total? Out of 8. And then we look at the white ones, and how many white ones were they? Probability of a white was equal to 2 out of. Remember, probability is not just a number; it's a fraction or a decimal, or even a percentage, but it's not a whole number as such. The maximum probability can be is actually 1. Okay, right, just give me one moment. Right, we need now put that onto the scale over here. You got 2 parts for this, so we need to put arrows on there. Okay, or a line. So let's have a line. We need to do 6/8. Now if you look at the line here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's already been split into 8 anyway. So we need a line at 6/8. That's 4, 5, 6/8. So we need a line that goes to there. That's 6/8. That's for the probability of a black. Probability of white is 2/8. So we need another line pointing at 2/8. Are we happy with that? So put an arrow ahead of that if you like. And we can say this is the probability of a black, and this one here is the probability of a white. Okay, so what we're doing here, we are finding out what the chance of getting a black one is. So we put the answer here, and put the probability of white one here, and then we're putting it onto a number line, a probability line. Okay, are we happy with that one? Okay, let's have a look at this one over here, number 4. Number 4, what's the probability of a black one here? For question number 4. It's not a trick question. Probability of black. How many black ones do you have in number 4? And the answer is nothing. We don't have any. So probability of 0/8 will give us simply an answer of 0. Now what is the probability of a white in number 4? What's the probability of a white? 1 whole. First of all, we start with 8 eighths, which gives you 1. Okay, so if you want to put that on the line, use a line feature for number 4. The probability of the black is going to go here, first of all. Delete that one. It's a bit tight, the space I have here. Let's enlarge it and make it a bit more blobby. Okay, what we can do, Rather than putting a line on there, let's try by putting a dot on there. That might be more helpful. Okay, let's get an average. So probability of a black, I'm gonna put it here because I think it's easy for me to put a dot there instead. That's 0. Probability of a white is going to be 8 out of 8, which is one whole, which is going to be over here. So that's the probability of the black, and that's the probability of the white. Are we happy with that? Yes? Sure? So we've got those two probabilities now have been labeled quite clearly on this line. And number 1 was done on the top 2 lines. Okay? Are we happy with that? And that's what we need to do for these questions now. If you look at question number 6, we don't have 8, we have 4. So the probability for, if you do number 6, probability of a black is equal to 3 out of 4. And the probability of a white for that one is going to be equal to 1 out of 4. So we've got 3 quarters and 1 quarter now. If you look at the line, 3 quarters now, the line is still divided into eighths. So how many eighths is 3 quarters? How many eighths is 3 quarters? 6. Okay, because they've divided it into eighths. Now, so how many eighths is 1 quarter? How many? 2. So there's my 2 answers. The first one is the probability of the black, and the second is the probability of the black, and the probability of the white. Okay, you happy that I got those points on there? Yeah. I would like you to do now is complete the rest of that page for me, please. And then we'll go on to the scale 2. Okay, show the probability of the following events on the probability scales using an arrow. So throwing a 6-sided die, the die is singular, the dice is actually plural, and getting a 3. Now you have to think about what we have. What are the outputs of a die? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, what's the probability? By looking at those numbers, how many times does a 3 happen? So look at those numbers. How many times does 3 happen in that list? 1. So we got 3 now. What happens once? The probability, let's color a bit light. So the probability of scoring a 3 is going to be 1 out of how many? 6. Lovely. So if you look at this line here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 lines here, 6 marks. So probability of getting a 3 will be here. 1/6. That's the answer. So you first of all write it down here, and then you put a mark on the first notch of the line to indicate that it is 1/6. Okay, are we happy with that first question? Okay. Now let's have a go at question number 3. I'm not going to do all of them. Throwing a 6-sided die and getting a 7. Now that's not a trick question. Just we have to think. Do you have any 7s in our output here? No. So probability of getting a 7 is what? It's nice and straightforward. What is it? It's nothing. Out of, nothing out of 6. So you got 6 chances and none of them are 7. So that will give us a final output of 0. So probability of getting a 7 doesn't exist. We have no chance of getting a 7. So that answer will go on the question number 3, right on the 0 line. 0 notch. Done. You've got 6 outputs and none of them are 7. So probability of getting a 7 is impossible. Impossible is 0. Okay, let's have a go at question number 5. Throwing a 6-sided die and getting an even number. Right, that's more. Now, how many even numbers do we have? 1. Okay, and then we have another 1, 2, and 3. So you're doing one thing, but the chances now are higher. So probability of getting an even number is going to be, how many did we just say? You've got 3 chances out of the total of 6. And 3 out of 6 will that simplify down to 0.5 or a half. So divide that by 3, divide that by 3. So that gives you a half. Because we're doing in a fraction, yes, a half is as equivalent fraction is 0.5. So it gives you exactly in the middle, 0.5. You can put the arrows on the top as well if you like on your diagrams. That's not a problem. Let's go down a bit. Okay. Question number 8 and number 11. We're throwing a 6-sided die and getting 3 or less. What does that mean? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you throw a die and get 3 or less, how many chances do you have getting 3 or less? 3 out of 6. 3 out of 6 is the same as we just said earlier. Okay, probability of getting 3 or less will give us a half. And a half can be, we can put it out on top if you like now. And that will go there. Okay. Right, the next question, let's quickly do number 9. Throwing a 6-sided die and getting 3 or more. So let's do the same thing again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it says 3 or more, which includes 3. So how many numbers are 3 or more? 4 this time. So the probability will be 4 out of 6. I'm going to leave that fraction there at the moment because we have got 6 notches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 of them is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to put a line just the first notch after the 0.5. So that's 4, 6. Yes, that can be cancelled down to 2/3. But if 4, 6 is easy from here straight onto the diagram. And that was done there. If you toss a coin and landing on tails, now when you toss a coin, how many outputs do we have altogether? You either get a head or we get a tail. So the probability of landing on the tails is what? Okay, so it's 1 is the out of. So probability of tail, you said, yeah, if is going to be 1 chance out of 2 chances, which is bang on a half. And that's the end of this particular video. I want you to complete the rest of those questions on that sheet for me, please, while I stop this video. Let's quickly look any other nice questions we missed out. Okay, so that's good. Okay, we're gonna stop that video here.